Welcome, race fans. Welcome to Talladega Superspeedway for the race number 2 in the playoffs of the Apex East Series Showdown. Talladega, what do you think about Talladega? Well, what I think is we got a lot of potential winners, a lot that can go right, a lot that can go wrong, and we got a lot of playoff drivers trying to make it into the Final Four, and this is race number 2 of 3. So you got tonight at Homestead to lock yourself in the Final Four. And so far, Chris Carroll, after winning last week at Bristol, it's the only one locked into Phoenix, which I think is pretty deserving after a pretty dominant season. But man, look at that top 8. The rest of the 7: Charles Stevens, Chris Bedwell, Alan Smith above the cutoff line. Garrett Kinder, Ray Rogers, Tony Edgerton, and Aaron Adcock down at the bottom, trying to get in tonight. With a win, could do it. Got to work together. Got to have some friends. Got to have some pals to make it happen, or just have some good old-fashioned good luck. So we'll see what happens tonight, and let's go ahead and get gridded up as we are already rolling. Let's see who is the Chuck Pegleg Pole Award winner. That's going to be Garrett Kinder. Brandon Wallace outside front row. Joseph Mahar going to be starting in 3rd place. 4th is Chris Bedwell. Tracy Passons in 5th. 6th, Dana Shepard. 7th, David Harden. 8th, Aaron Adcock. 9th, Alan Smith. 10th, Charles Stevens. 11th, Chris McLean. 12th, Tony Edgerton. 13th, Chuck Phelps. 14th, Anthony McPherson. 15th, Chris Carroll. 16th, Ray Rogers. 17th, Willie Evernham. And 18th, Matt Rogers. Well, tonight, it's about, do you have friends? You're going to need friends if you're going to make this thing happen tonight. Or you just need to be at the right place at the right time. You know, hook on to another group, pit when they pit, and try to make something happen. I think Poman's going to be tough to beat tonight, I think, as we get the Kinder Farm and Ranch starting grid off the screen. Thank you to them. But tonight, it's going to be a long race, 75 laps. Going to be possibly some green flag pit stops if we don't have any big wrecks, but who knows? I mean, it's impossible to say. Everybody's got a different agenda. You see all the neon green, whatever they're called, labels. I'm not sure why I can't think of what it's called above the front windshield, but either way, you'll see those neon green that lets you know who the playoff drivers are that still remain. 8 of them. Chris Carroll, the only one that doesn't have to do anything tonight. He can kind of just hang out, and if he wants to race, he can. If he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to. But he might get up there and try to keep some contenders from locking themselves in the playoffs. So we'll see what he decides to do. But we're getting ready to go green here as pace car pulls off of pit road, and we got to go all the way around through the tri-oval to get that green flag. Garrett Kinder gonna bring us down. We're going to get this race underway. Into the Geico restart zone. And green flag is out. Garrett Kinder going to get out to a early lead. We know with the draft, not going to be able to get away here as Chris Bedwell drops Brandon Wallace like a bad habit real quick. Now, the truck's drafting package, what can you expect as we go through turn 1 and 2, side by side, 2 by 2 by 2, with Brandon Wallace up on the high line going to the back, is you can expect a lot of pushing. You can really lean on the bumper. Everything kind of squares up in the truck, so push as hard as you can. And you'll see some side drafting, all kinds of stuff. We'll see gas saving, maybe, depending on if you can make it all the way. Just depends on what your strategy. We'll see all types of strategies tonight. Bedwell and Dana Shepard, their strategy is to get out front quick. That's what they're doing. Everything is starting to get wound up. And Aaron Adcock going to drive down to the bottom, get in front of the 13. Both of those Poman drivers on the bottom. Well, I don't know if Garrett Kinder has to win. But Aaron Adcock missed last week. Got to have a win. We've already seen him lock himself in at Kansas in a desperation move. Or not desperation move in the race, dominated the race, but a Hail Mary needed to get into the next round of the playoffs. So tonight, looking to do the same thing. Still has another chance next week at Homestead, but right now, out front, leading the way, in that Furniture Row F-150. So far, so good. Checked out racing up front on the top side. See, already doing a little side drafting, which you don't expect so early, but trying to be aggressive to keep control of that front row. It's always tough to say what to do. We hear it in real racing at these plate tracks. I believe Joe Logano said earlier this week, I've been wrecked up front, I've been wrecked in the middle, I've been wrecked in the back. There is no safe place up here that you can stay away from. I mean, in the pits, it's about the only safe place, but NASCAR will throw a caution if you're in the pits. But right now, it is a battle up front. Aaron Adcock on the bottom. Po-Man line 1, 2, 3, maybe more, 4, I think, on the bottom, all locked up. Oh, that's the 34. David Hart on the bottom there. But interesting to see what may happen between Garrett Kinder and Aaron Adcock. Both those drivers need to win to get in for sure. But I think the 17 is in more of a dire position. So we'll see what the 13 decides to do. If this was the last lap, what would he do here, knowing that he's got to get himself into the playoffs as well? We looked at all the playoff drivers. We'll go ahead and pull up the points while we're kind of watching the action. I'll let you watch the action. You tell me what's going on while I go ahead and pull up the points here and see how close it is for these leaders and who needs what. You know, you'd think broadcast would have this already figured out, but hey. Yeah, Aaron Adcock's really the only person in the field that has to have a win the next couple races. Garrett Kinder tied or 2 points back from Alan Smith, so he just needs to finish ahead of the 3. And then Ray Rogers tied with Garrett Kinder, and Anthony Edgerton, oh my Lord, is 1 point behind them. So if I had to guess, if I'm Po-Man and I'm Aaron Adcock, I feel pretty good. Feel like I've got the whole team behind me, as they just need to have some good finishes. The rest of them that are in the playoffs. So. Of course, if Aaron doesn't get the win tonight, he's still got a chance at Homestead, but, you know, definitely a threat to this championship. I think he has won quite a few truck races at Phoenix, seemed to be pretty good at it. So I don't know. Even if I'm Po-Man, I don't know. Do I want Aaron? Do I want to be racing against Aaron? Do I want to have to race him at Homestead? Do I want to have to race him at Phoenix? You know, that's a tough call. I think you're going to help your teammate regardless, but, you know, someone like Chris Bedwell, Chris Carroll even, you know, you might fight to keep that 17 out of the playoffs. So, we'll be interested to see what the decision, who's going to fight hard. I know that 3 truck sitting in 4th place in the points currently, 2 points above the cutoff line, looking for a good finish tonight in that 3 sugar time truck. Alan Smith had a great playoff so far, looking to continue that trend. Just got to stay out of trouble. He's still in good shape. Needs to get up there and get a win, but keeping that truck straight is going to be the most important thing tonight. As you know, at some point, there's going to be some sort of wreck. I think if you bet against it, you'd be crazy. Up front, see Chris Bedwell. Got a nose ahead down the back straightaway. You'll see the top line in the corner start to fall back. As we get through the race, you'll see the top line come down and side draft just a little bit. I don't know if the trucks are exactly modeled like the Cup cars are for side draft, but you can get down on the door. The draft of the truck in front of you comes out at a 45-degree angle, so a pretty wide cone back there. So hit a draft. So if you can get close there on the quarter panel, that'll give you a little bit of speed through the middle of the corner, which you see the top side struggles with. So if they can keep the speed up in the middle and not lose too much down the straightaway, you see right there they gain a ton down the back straightaway. Just so much speed. As you see the front two checked out racing truck getting a little squirrely there. All right, last week thing, I think I forgot, but I got to give out the paint of the night at some point tonight. So we'll look through the pack. Everybody looks like they're running their normal schemes, so it might just be a dice roll, but be on the lookout for a brand new scheme, something that a little bit different. Give out the 1-inch design paint of the night. Of course, we've got the Hard Charger Award, 5 King Post race, and the Burkhalter Recycling Demolition Wreckage Rewind. Well, these two lanes are pretty much blocked up by these drivers. They can't seem to really go anywhere. The top side, there's teammates pushing. So normally what would happen is the 95 up there, Chris Bedwell, he would get pushed out to the front, and he would pull down in front of the leader on the bottom side. But with his teammate behind him, doesn't really want to do that. So just control the lane. If you control the lane, that's just as good. But will anybody jump up to the high line? Maybe use that third lane, try to get to the front. We've had a great season so far. I hate to think that it's coming to an end, but we are just 3 races away from crowning a champion. And it's like David Harden pulls out of the pack, didn't see something he liked. I don't guess. I didn't see any contact. He's going to lose the draft because of that, most likely. So something going on with the 34 machine. He pulls out. Let's see if we can go back. We'll rewind it real quick. Hopefully there's no big action before that happens. See, maybe we missed something. No, just pulls out. So he's all by himself now, 2.3 seconds behind the pack. Maybe he felt like it was getting a little bit too wild, so he just wanted to ride by himself. But the only problem is, if it goes green, he's going to be in big trouble. So he is going to need a caution at some point to get back in this thing. So far, it's just been a pendulum. Top side gets a little bit of a run, gets out front, and the bottom side gets the same thing. He gets out front. You see that bottom line sort of warmed up back here. Guys just riding on the bottom, trying to stay in the draft and not get up there and get a miss. Be able to give them an opportunity to miss a wreck if it happens. But I don't know. It seems like there's a lot more people taking it easy than there are being aggressive. Really, the only aggression that I've seen is the top 4 cars up here that have been pushing these lanes. Outside of that, everybody's sort of giving space, a lot of cushion between each truck. The only real issue we've seen is the 43 and 95 get a little squirrely down the back straightaway. But outside of that, really not much opportunity for accidents so far. So. I'll tell you what, I can't hear nothing, so let's crank it up. like Chris Bedwell decides to go ahead and jump down and take control of the bottom line and try to take control of this race, get some laps led, maybe get that most laps led counter. Could be all that it takes. I mean, we talked about the points already. I mean, it's probably 5 to 6 total points that separate second to seventh. So every little point's going to matter. So if you can get you a lap led, that's important. If you can lead the most laps, that's even more points. And some guys like Chris Carroll have already won their way in. But Chris Bedwell goes up the track. But I would imagine a few drivers, a driver or two, the 91 of Willie Abraham gets into the wall up there. As like he tried to make maybe a quick move and got up in the wall. Got a little bit of right side damage. Hopefully can stay with that draft. But got Chris McLean up here at the top with Brandon Wallace. And, oh, my goodness. Then he jumps back in. It seems like he's a little undecided. McLean pulls back down to the middle line. And, man, they're snaking down the back straightaway. Brandon Wallace has to jump back in line as they were trying to get a third lane going. Just could not do anything with it. Not quite sure why Bedwell jumped back up. Don't know if he got a little bit loose. Maybe, saw the 17 really pushing him. Not sure if he really wasn't comfortable. I'm not real sure. So maybe just wanted to get back with his teammates. You see all three of them in the top line. That's how important teammates are at these tracks. As much as I can't stand super speedway racing, I do like the teamwork aspect of it, which is you don't get to do that anywhere else. You can help somebody talk about lines, strategy, all that type of stuff. But at this track, you can literally be the difference between your teammate winning and losing. And here, numbers are king. So you work with your teammates, try to figure out good strategies, and when to pit, when not to pit, when to go, when to push, and all kinds of stuff. So it's a lot of fun when you can work with your teammates in a way that you're almost racing against other teams. See it in real life as, you'll see Ford, Chevy, and Toyota all working within their manufacturer trying to come out on top. So been an odd race so far. I don't know if it's because, Poman, they're on the bottom line, 5 trucks lined up on the bottom. And if they're not willing to do anything, it's going to be hard for pretty much anybody else. And you got the checked out racing boys up top. So 2 teams, like we talked about, as the 95 gets a little bit loose there off the 43's bumper. But you're seeing what teams can do, how they control the race. If you're not a part of a team, if you're a solo guy, you're kind of at the mercy. You say, well, that stinks, but start typing, hopping up in voice comm, getting in chat with somebody saying, hey, let's work together. We got a couple trains of cars up here we got to get around. Check in on David Harden. David Harden right now, if we look at the track map and we get rid of the logo, you see he is in danger. He's coming off of turn 2 right now. The leaders are going into turn 1, so it will not take long before he goes a lap down. David Harden, he is lapping about 4 seconds slower, not in the draft. So So far as clean racing goes, I tell you, it's been really, really clean. Don't see any kind of crazy wild moves. Nobody's doing anything just nuts trying to get up to the front. So been a quiet, chill race. So we're gonna probably see some green flag pit stops coming up pretty soon on lap 21 of 75. I would expect to see it in the next 10 laps or so coming down pit road. That's another time that teamwork will be extremely important as you want to come down together. Get fuel, probably no tires. Don't really need tires at Talladega, just fuel, and get back out there with your team. It's a tough deal. It's tough because, if you come down with 5 fellas and everybody needs to get on and get off pit road about the same time. If one straggling back there and doesn't stay with the group, probably, depending on the situation, could hurt itself by trying to let somebody catch up to the draft. And so if you're a little bit slow in the pit box or slow getting in or off, you got to go. See Chris Carroll up there on the top line, going 3 wide all by himself. It's unless they were saving fuel, it's unlikely he makes that happen. Maybe getting a little bit bored out there. See that from time to time, guys jumping up by themselves as these lines are sort of checking up. You got the front 2 that are pushing. They're punching the hole in the air like a big truck. And then the ones following behind, they're lifting, just kind of riding, running about 80% throttle every once in a while. And that kind of checks up the line so you can get a big run if you're at the end of one of those lines. And if it checks up enough, you can find yourself making up a few spots, but eventually you're going to run out of steam as you hit that wall of air. So far, no change up front. Aaron Adcock, Chris Bedwell leading both lines. Dana Shepard, Garrett Kinder riding their tire tracks, pushing on them, leaning on those bumpers. Just see that 43 and 95. I just wonder. I worry about that. Anytime I got somebody behind me. Oh, Chris Carroll has gone to the middle, 3 wide. Trying to break up this little checked out racing group here in this middle line. So he's trying to kind of break this up. 77 probably not going to be happy about that, but I was running my mouth out. I even missed the dang move. Well, got to feel bad for David Harden as he goes a lap down. You see, didn't take long. Just a few laps for the pack to run him down, put him a lap down, so he will be a lap down. However, caution does come out. He will get the lucky dog, but he is really in desperate need of a caution and hope that he doesn't get involved in the incident that brings it out. Kevin Kinder said just getting in from farm, and so far so good. Yeah, everything has been pretty hunky-dory as we do have a little change up front as Bedwell comes down to the bottom. Going to control that bottom line with Dana Shepard getting pushed by Chris Carroll. Chris Carroll sort of being the foil to these teams' plans as he's coming in and sort of bulldozing his way, not in a bad way, but a good way of just wearing these guys out. But so far, it looks like maybe a plan for both drivers to get down to the bottom, the 43 and the 95, as pit stops looming pretty soon. Of course, Bedwell been out front along with Aaron Adcock, so their fuel level is going to be a little bit lower than everybody else. So I would see them sort of leading the charge. Expect to see the 95 and 17 come down pit road first and their respective teams following. Oh, there comes 13 down pit road, so it looks like Poman, and a big wreck. Everybody's wrecking coming down pit road. Caution flag comes out as a big wreck. 75 backwards. Joseph Mahar backwards. Guys on pit road, what do you do? This is a tough deal. Sometimes if pit road is Alan Smith, he's going to have to come down and take the penalty as he's got engine damage. He's got to get that fast repair. If that engine expires, he'll have to tow. So he's going to have to go ahead and make that pit stop. which he does. So that will give him a faster pair. But my goodness, what happened out there as we saw everybody trying to get on pit road, and it got a little wild. Oh my goodness. Looks like it started with the 3. Oh yeah. Yeah, Joseph Mahar comes down like he's coming down pit road. I don't know who called it, who didn't call it. It's hard to say, but looks like Allen expected Joseph Mahar to be pitting there. And Mahar comes back up on the track right in front of the 3. 3 had some track to go up, but it was just such a last-minute thing. You see, he just caught the right rear of the 46. So just assuming that they're pitting, and then Mahar comes back up on the track, and then the 3 gets hit from behind. Ray Rogers coming flying in. So guys just riding in the back. Going to be the first ones with a mess of damage as that brings out the first caution of the night. So all the leaders coming down pit road. I would imagine that most everybody just went ahead and exited. If you pit while, wow, look at that. Tough deal getting into pit road, 97, 95. But if you pit when the caution is out, you will get a penalty. I don't really know what the penalty is. I don't know if it's a under green penalty that you have to serve. I'm not quite sure. But if you're Alan Smith, so I don't know if it's an EOL. I want to say it's a 42nd hole, which is not good. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll see what he does, what he has to do. I think he's the only one that came down and actually got work done under that caution flag. So, but he didn't have a choice. That engine was smoking, and he could have tried to nurse it around. But if that engine were to give out, and he couldn't make it back to pit road, he'd have to tow, and he would lose multiple laps doing that. So definitely the right call to come down pit road, but just a tough deal there. Guys trying to come down pit road. Maybe, some people didn't call it out. It's hard to say, but definitely the 3 thought the 46 was going to be going down pit road. He comes back up and make contact. Chris Carroll comes out with the lead as he did not come down pit road, so he was still out on the track. Was able to get that position by being out on the track. Everybody else had to drive on through pit road without making a stop, so they had to come in as well. So tough deal. Tough deal to go green that far and then have a caution right during green flag pit stops. Kind of almost letting the wind out of the sails a little bit, like a whoopee cushion you let go after you blow it up, all across the room. Or a balloon, I guess. So we'll have a couple caution laps to let everybody catch their breath. So far, it looks like Chuck Pegalik Felts with a lot of damage. Ray Rogers as well. So looks like they're probably trying to hang on to those faster pairs, which is a smart move. If you don't have to use them, you don't want to. Because Alan Smith in trouble as he can only get caught up. That was it. So if he gets caught up again, gets major damage, he is going to be in trouble, and he's going to have to well, if he gets major damage, he's out of it. So he does not have a fast repair. So Ray Rogers, other folks trying to hang on to those. It's a scary deal because sometimes you don't know what kind of damage that you have. It's hard to assess the truck. You hope that it's enough to stay in the draft. Sometimes you get out there and the damage is bad enough that you lose the draft, and that's no good either. I'll tell you who's glad to see that, though, is David Hart, who's going to get the lucky dog. And see him catching up to the field right now. So gets the lucky dog, gets back on the lead lap after losing the draft and going a lap down on track. So worked out perfect for him. But up front, your points leader, Kevin Kinder said, I know what brought the caution out. Yep, Ratchet Miller said, just getting in from farming with Kevin Kinder, and the caution comes out. That's what. There you go. If you're new, Kevin Kinder, Ratchet Miller, 2 top quality fellers. Hang out and chat. Give me a hard time. We appreciate them always being active. Sometimes it can, sometimes these races get a little boring. And so it's good to have folks like Kevin Kinder, Ratchet Miller in chat to keep it light and fun. If you're watching and you're not participating in chat, why not? Come on. Get in there. Holler at your favorite driver. Let them know who you're rooting for. Let them know. Get in chat. Steve McDonald said he is rooting for the 99 of Bubba Wallace. Or Brandon Wallace, excuse me. And he said he's his #1 fan from Georgia. All right, pace car is off. Going to get ready to go back green. Chris Carroll, Dana Shepard, your front 2. And Chris Carroll going to go. And Dana Shepard gets going. Did I see a black flag? Oh, what in the world? As looks like Matt Rogers didn't know somebody was inside. Oh, a little bit of netco is what it looked like as they get kind of wrapped up. So I don't know what's going on. What the heck? They get it all. They keep it straight, but that was a mess. I don't know. I don't know what was going on there. But Lord of mercy. Aaron Adcock and Charles Stevens Jr. working together to try to get up to the front as they are trying to get up to speed. See the pack sort of reforming here. We see Po-Man starting to populate the upper lane. Woo! They are moving. As Po-Man, little 3-car draft, daggum, all 3 trucks go to the front. As man, they had a huge run and able to get all 3 trucks out front. Chris McLean leading this thing. After that little shake-up. Oh, I thought somebody was wrecking there as they were changing lanes. Chris Bedwell. But once some drivers get broke up, especially on a restart, and these trucks get wound up, you'll see some big runs. As we saw those drivers get up front. So it looks like all the penalties were either served under caution. So Alan Smith was wondering if him pitting was going to give him an EOL or 40-second hold, but so far it looks like it was just an EOL. But he is back in 16th. It's a tough deal for Allen as he, obviously, his strategy is to try to hang out in the back and dodge the wreck, but man, he was the wreck this last time, and so that, you wonder, what kind of strategy do I need to employ? If you're below the cut line, a win is the most important. So how confident are you going into Homestead? You see the drivers who don't feel confident at all about next week up front trying to get that dub. Yeah, I'm waiting for the high line to get some folks up there as we get closer and closer to the end of this race. We're not quite halfway yet. So I wouldn't expect it to ramp up too much, but as the next 20 laps or so, expect to see some stuff going on. 17 jumps up to the high line. Jumps in front of the 97 to Chris Carroll. He's going to lead that top line. Because that top line looks like it's pretty strong right now. And 17 gets a push right up to the front. So little leapfrog over his teammate. And the number 17 assumes the lead. It definitely is no secret that 17 is the point man for Po-Man tonight. Working together in tandem, knowing that he has no way of pointing himself in after missing a race. So he desperately needs this win. That's the only way he's going to get to the Final Four. So looks like the boss man, he called in and said, hey, this is what we're going to do. And so far, everybody, they're all doing a great job of keeping him out front. And the 13 really pushed the 97 out there. 13 would like to get a win too, as he's currently a few points below the cutoff. Would like to lead this lap if he can. He's saying, hey, Anthony, push me. Come on, let's go. 17 really leaning on the bumper of the 97. They have a whole truck gap back there as 13. It looks like there was a reason for that gap. As the 13 jumps down to the bottom line, leaves Anthony McPherson in the middle 3 wide all by himself. Top line sort of forming, but it's mainly to all right, 3 wide. Chris Bedwell decides to get to the back bumper of the 28 machine, push him, kind of stalls the, oh no, we're being 4 wide. Well, it's not going to end well. I can already tell. Here it goes. Big wreck here as they start wrecking. 28 goes around. Tracy Passons, Chris McLean. Oh my gosh, somebody died there. Somebody flipped up out of the track as a big one has happened here at Talladega. We see Brandon Wallace. I don't know who it was. Oh, the 77. Good grief. Let's go on board with that. If you want to get sick, here we go. Enjoy the ride. And he is gone. He went to the Shadow Realm. Well, my goodness. Well, let's go back and see what happened. That all started up front. We were kind of watching it as it happened. So let's go back and see if we can see just what went wrong. But we already saw it. It was 4 wide. And, that's a tough deal. 4 wide for real drivers is pretty tough. Definitely going to be tough for these fellas. And it looks like Anthony McPherson just a little bit nervous about going 4 wide. Had a truck to the top side. If he held his line, it probably would have been all right. But kind of leans on the 53 there as they're going around the outside. And when he does that, contact is made and the 53 goes around. And a lot of trucks wrecked out of that. So 4 wide, just tough deal. Some people have a tough time with that 4 wide stuff. They're trying to give room to the guy to the bottom, trying to give room to the guy at the top, and just not any room to give. And caution comes out again. Got some people coming down pit road. Don't know what the strategy is here. I don't know what they can do as far as fuel. Looks like everybody was trying to pit on lap 25 or so, 26. So I would imagine they have to make one more stop regardless. Yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't come on down pit road. That's interesting. I'd love to know from Aaron and Garrett. I won't pull them up here because I don't want to give away any strategies they may have. But interesting call to see. I'm interested to see what the reasoning is for these drivers staying out, not coming down, getting fuel. As if you do have to make another pit stop, which, like I said, they all were trying to pit on lap 25. Seems like you're putting yourself in a position to have to make a green flag pit stop with only 3 guys. Let's watch that wreck from Alan Smith's point of view. Let's see how he got through that. So you gets off of it, just wrecking all over the place, but he comes to a complete stop. One goes to the moon. One kind of get a little bit sideways, but gets woed up, gets slowed down. Didn't try to daze of thunder that wreck, able to miss it. Hey, it looks like everybody came back down pit road. Trying to get a little bit extra fuel. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this plays out as like I said, I think they all have to make one more pit stop, so it's not going to matter technically, especially if there's another caution. But majority of the drivers will be able to go if for somehow we go green the rest of the way. You'll have to pit 10 laps sooner than the pack. Lights are off on the pace car. Going to get ready to go back green. With that, with those pit stops that were made that last lap, that means there's only two trucks on the top side. If you're wondering why everybody's on the bottom, because they pitted. So everybody that pits is going to be single file on the bottom. You'll see as they come off the corner how many folks there are. So if you're back there, you got to be careful. You don't want to lose the draft. Big gaps back there. People probably yelling at each other, get tight, get tight. And green flag is back out. 35 laps to go here. Who's going to get this win here at Talladega? Talladega one of those you just love to win, regardless of how you feel about plate racing. Even the biggest negative Nancy's against plate racing, they'll love to get that win. Well, it looks like fast repairs all around for most folks. Chris McLean back there making all kinds of moves in the back, trying to get up to his teammates. Got Willie Evernham right in front of him, Alan Smith in the 3 truck. Like 3 truck ready to get busy, it looks like. Oh, he jumps down to the bottom, right behind the 46, so he'll be, probably feels a little bit safer. Got a little runoff room down there, but that top line is moving. Look at that 5 truck as he goes up to the top, trying to push that 91 up to the front. And abandons him as seemed like maybe the 91's got a little bit too much damage. So, man, 5 trucks all over the place. It's crazy. As up front, I don't know what's going on. What are these guys doing? They're about one beer too deep, I think. Is man, they are driving all over the place, texting and driving most likely. Checking the Facebook while they're driving in a pack. They're all kind of weaving back and forth. Not sure what's going on. Bottom line's only line that's really got anything going. It's like the middle line's trying to form up here, but it's like Willie Evernham, that 91 truck just looks a little bit too damaged to do anything here. Man, all this movement makes me nervous. One wrong move, that's all it takes, and we got another big one. So I don't know what to think about it. Everybody being real nervous, especially with fast repairs gone. If you're Chris McLean, you don't care. You're kind of a lap down. It shows McLean tailing the lead lap. I don't know what's going on with my. For some reason, it's showing lap times. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, it's we can try to figure that out another day. I don't know if that's something that has changed on me. Instead of time behind, I'm getting showed lap times. There we go. Oh, wow. Yeah, they did update some stuff. Cool. All right. Well, sorry about that. Well, right now, Trace Basson's trying to make that top line work. Saw him involved in that last incident. Got a fast repair. He's back rolling, but Chris McLean jumping up to the top line. Looks like they're trying to hang out the 77 out to dry as he's lost his teammates. His teammates in the back as they are trying to take care of their truck. Looks like Connor Doughty says, how can I join this league? Well, we are 3 races remaining in the playoffs, so I think next season signups have already started, so try to get you a link in a minute. Get another caution or something. Remind me after the race, I'll drop you a link in chat. But 3 races remaining in this season, and then it'll be a little bit of an off season. Oh my goodness, 77 did not. he backed out of it. He thought better of it. Looked like he was going to go 4 wide, and then he had a little flashback to the last incident and did the smart thing and backed out of it. So now this middle line is sort of broken up all over the place. And you see that these guys not really going anywhere. But the bottom line's not really formed up either. You see there's a lot of gaps there. The 75, the most important driver or drivers in the race are the second ones in line. They are the they dictate the lines and lanes and how they move forward. And you see Chuck not willing to push, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you don't push, you allow the other line to really get a whole lot of speed. You see the 77 pushing the 5, and the 75 just almost a car length between him and the 13. So that really hurts that bottom line. So you see 3 trucks up top, and then you see quite a few drivers down on the bottom just trying to hang on to the draft and stay out of trouble. Matt Rogers down on the apron. Tracy Passon's going to abandon that top line jump down to the bottom with everybody else, much to the dismay of the 77 and the 91. Tracy felt like they really weren't going anywhere. And Chris McLean, not to the lead, but is on the tail end of lead lap now, so. He gets a caution here. He can get back on the lead lap without having to take a lucky dog. The 77 of Tony Edgerton, he was a lap down as well, so he is currently the lucky dog with Chris McLean out front. And the 77 just saying, yeah, y'all keep pushing the 5. We want him out front. Well, definitely the calm before the storm. Everybody trying to position themselves for these next round of pit stops, whenever they're going to be. You see a lot of guys down on the bottom. Usually that's an indication that people are going to, pit at some point, which we know that there's quite a few drivers who pitted 10 laps ago, so they definitely won't be coming in. But if you pit, once the window's open, you can go all the way to the end. So, I'm interested to see what's going to happen with the Poman drivers who did not pit in the last round of pit stops. I still don't understand that. I don't know why they didn't just go ahead and pit. And now that they have to make the call to come down pit road. Of course, if they have their teammates on the same page, then it doesn't matter. They'll have the numbers, but if they come down with enough drivers, they can come out and start putting down some quick lap time. You see the field just kind of all over the place. There they come now. Popeman making that call, come down pit road, as maybe nobody seems to be locking them up. Pretty clean entry here to pit road for this team. Let's see if they can make it happen and get on and off pit road without much trouble. Like I said, you don't want to be that straggler. You see a lot of space there. You want to get your fuel and you want to get gone. You don't want to spend any time. Don't spin your tires. Try to get up through the gears. And you see Chuck Pegler-Phelps taking his faster pair as they put a lot of fuel in these trucks. A couple cans here. And there they go, dropping the jacks. Tracy Passon's taking 4 tires. That makes me a little bit nervous. Is he going to be able to get out with everybody else? Tracy Passon's a good bit behind. Yeah, tough deal. They're running side by side, though, so this is odd. I don't really see this much, but you'll see Chuck Pegler-Phelps. This is what in the world's going on here? We see Chuck back there trying to hang on to the draft along with Tracy. Maybe they'll slow up and try to let their teammates catch up. They don't want to. They want to be able to get out there and get that done and get as much time as they can, but they need the numbers. Right now, got a really bad camera here. You can't see jack all, but other people making their pit stops. Alan Smith, Chris Bedwell, Dana Shepard, Tony Edgerton, as well as the 28 of Anthony McPherson, and Ray Rogers as you see the Po-Man group coming by right now. So, and pit stops happening between Chris Carroll, Joseph Mahar, and David Harden. Very lonely group of pit stops, but they get on all pit road. They should be able to blend in with the pack. We'll see how that all plays out. Of course, interesting, Po-Man going to have to have a little bit longer pit stops as they had to take more fuel after not coming in and pitting. We'll see if they'll be able to catch. Should be able to catch this group right here, unless these guys get real tight and start pushing. But if you look in the back, you can see just how tight and aggressive these guys are pushing. So they will definitely be making up a ton of time. But currently, about 4 seconds back from Anthony McPherson, Alan Smith, and these boys right here. So, and they're about to pick up 2 more of Joseph Mahar and Chris Carroll. So it does look like Po-Man was able to get both drivers, had to suffered a little bit trying to let those guys catch up. But, I mean, it's a numbers game. You know, if you don't let those guys catch up, you know, you could definitely weaken your pack. So pretty important for them to do that. And what these guys are hoping for with 23 laps to go is they get up here and get to racing, which is exactly what's going on right now, as they are 2 by 2. You see Chris Carroll up on that in the middle of the lane. Chris Bedwell going 3 wide with Dana Shepard, his teammate, as they take the lead. All this is exactly what Po-Man wants to see, is that's allowing them to catch up in that second pack. We'll show you the track map so you can kind of see where everybody is. Pretty much there now, just about 3 seconds back is Garrett Kander, Willie Evernham. But Chris Bedwell goes to the lead. Actually kind of leaves his teammate out to dry, as his best pusher is now all by himself on the outside. So, you know, if I'm honest, I'm asking Dan Shepard, hey, get down on the bottom, start pushing. We are in the lead pack right here. Last lap, Garrett Kander was half a second faster than the leaders here. And they do have a pretty mighty big pack back there, but they are catching just a little bit now as these guys have gotten lined up. But obviously not as tight together as this group back here is. So they will definitely catch them pretty soon, as Garrett Kander is about 2 seconds out. Once he gets about 1.6, 1.7 seconds, he will get a sniff of that draft, and it will slowly pull them, and eventually they'll get the draft, and these packs will merge. Last lap, Chris Bedwell, our leader, 52.68. Garrett Kander, 52.06. So 0.6 of a second faster that last lap. And it's only going to get faster, as he is now 1.9 seconds back from the back of the pack. These guys doing the best they can. They just don't have the numbers. If I'm Po-Man, I'm Going to get a pretty big run here, and probably expect them to take it up to the outside, take the whole pack up there, and now we'll uh, have a big pack. And if you're these guys up here, you're feeling pretty good right now, but once that happens, it's going to get stressful quick. We've already seen the 28 sort of get a little nervous in the pack, so we'll be watching him and everybody else up here, see how they do. Kind of doing a little bit of weaving back and forth to the 3 truck, kind of all over the place. So probably just trying to shake those nerves out as we got 20 laps to go here at Talladega. You know, if I'm one of the guys up here in this top pack, you know, in my head or in their head, they may be thinking, you know what, when this pack comes and goes up to the outside, I'm going to jump up in front of it. I can just tell somebody's thinking. They're thinking, oh, I'm going to jump up there and I'm going to get the lead of that draft and go to the front. This pack back here is going to have such a huge run that they will just leave you out to dry, I can imagine. But we'll see what happens. Garrett Kinder does have the back of the pack, so they were another 6.5 tenths faster that last lap as Anthony McPherson gets down on the apron. Here they come around the outside. Oh, Alan Smith's going to be the one guy that's going to do it, and he's going to get left. Can't do that, man. They're going to block that. Alan Smith with a scary move there. Now he is hung out to dry in the middle. He does have a little draft here. He's going to go up to the inside as... Oh, now he's in the middle 3 wide. Is that what you wanted? I don't know. Anthony McPherson on the outside of that top line. So business is picking up. But there is no way we make it more than 3 laps here. I'm just going to say it right now. Is when those packs got up here, everybody jumped all over the place trying to block those Po-Man from getting there. And, man, the 91 all over the back bumper, weaving back and forth on the 28. Very, very nerve-wracking if you're behind him. And, oh, no, they're going to go 4 wide. It's not going to work. Oh, my goodness, there's no way we make it out alive right here. There it goes. Alan Smith with that no fast repair goes down to the inside wall. And caution does come out. You could just see it happening as Chris McLean going through the grass along with the 77. So a couple playoff drivers involved in that. But you just saw it happening. You know, it's kind of one of those things where there's nothing you could do. You just watching it happen, and you knew it was gonna happen pretty soon. Let's go back and see what happened that caused that. But 4 wide here. Chris McLean coming down. Oh, it's the 77 is going to get into the. Comes down off the corner, gets to the 5, and 5 comes and grabs the 3. Oh, just so frustrating if you're Alan Smith. Just trying to push and get it done. And like I said, 4 wide. If we're real NASCAR drivers, 4 wide is pretty sketchy, but yeah, with a bunch of sim racers, man, 4 wide, you can just go ahead and make your bets. It ain't gonna make it. Well, you hate to see it if you're Alan Smith. Like I said, we talked about his fast repair being gone. I would imagine he's going to go down pit road, try to get as much of that damage fixed as possible. Looked like it was a pretty hard hit on the back end. These trucks don't like that, so we'll see how that goes. Looks like there's going to be quite a bit of required repairs, so did not want to see that. Just needed to get some points, but going to be tough to make up. Definitely a win is out of the picture right now. Let's see if he's able to get any damage fixed, but he's gonna have to get some of that damage fixed, get out there and see if he can push somebody. Not out of it though. Even with tonight having a tougher race, to go out there and win at Homestead, that'll be enough to lock you in. So, but there's a lot left to happen here. So who knows? If you're damaged in that wreck, go in there and get some of that fixed. Come back out there, try to survive, pick up a few more spots for the end of this thing. But excuse me, gonna have about 14 laps to go when we go back green. Well, if you plan on winning this race, definitely not going to be able to ride around anymore. It's time to go. You got to get yourself positioned, get up front, do what you can. That's going to mean a lot more shoving, a lot more crazy moves, and a lot more bobbing and weaving. Kevin Kinder says too much air dancing. Yeah, we're going to have a lot of air dancing coming up pretty soon, just wiggling back and forth. Yeah, you know, I like to think of these guys just getting perpetual motion with them steering wheels. They go to the left and go, oh, too close to the guy on the left, and they go to the right, oh, I'm too close to the guy on the right, and they just go back and forth, just shaking that wheel, and then just not that many laps to go though. Who's going to come out on top? I don't know. Did Aaron get? I don't think Aaron got any of that damage. He was right there by. Let's go back and see it again. See if Aaron Adcock was involved in that at all. Oh, he's right there up in it. Let's see if he gets any damage. Able to get clear of that. Got a little tap there. That shouldn't have been anything. I don't see any extracurriculars after the. So I don't know why he came back down pit road. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with these pit roads. But 17 comes back down pit road. But 17 needs a win tonight or next week after missing Bristol. Alan Smith back out on the track after some repairs. That truck, we're going to need to get a couple more hammers after that bad boy. It's not going to pass through Tech if he wins the race. Dang, wheelbase is going to be too small. They're going to put that little thing on top of the, you know, that goes with the curvature, and it's just going to explode. We are doubled up, though, for the restart. 14 laps to go when we go back green. 97 with the lead. 95 outside the front row. Garrett Kinder, another one of those who love to get a win, lock themselves in the playoff. Be looking for those neon banners up there. Chris Carroll, love to be the guy to win 2 races in this round of the playoffs and lock those spots off. Pace cars off coming through the tri-oval. It's about to get wild. I can feel it. Ray Rogers kind of finding himself up here in the front pack when it matters. 13 pushing on the 97. Gives him a little nudge, but doesn't actually keep pushing him. So he won't get a huge run here. Is the 95 going to get a nice run up to the side? 13 trying to get to the back bumper, not quite able to do it. Low line going to get a nice run there as the 95 backs up to the 46. 43 back behind the 46, so teammates sort of sandwiched Joseph Mahar there, looking for trying to find some help on that high line. 95 trying to get as much push as he can, hoping that the bottom line doesn't stay stacked up so he can get out front and drop down in front of that 97. So far, not able to do it down the back straightaway as the trucks get wound up as they've got 14 laps to go, coming to 13. And 13 all over the back bumper of the 97. His whole job there on the bottom, right behind the leader, is to keep that top line from getting somebody out there down the back straightaway and the front straightaway. You want to push on that 97 to keep that car, a.k.a. truck, in the lead and not allow the 95 to get down there. Off the corner, you back off just a little bit, let the truck cool off, stay as close as you possibly can. Don't push, though. And then as you get down the straightaway, lean back on the 97 and just try to control the lead. That is the responsibility of that second truck down there on the bottom. That is probably the most important fella on the track. And right now it's a pretty good driver up there, although the top side looking pretty strong. Bedwell is clear but not able to jump down, or decides not to. Depends on which one. But so far, so good. See some guys kind of wiggling, getting out of shape. You got to be careful if you move to the left too far to the right. You could hook that guy that's in front of you. So I imagine we're going to see some of that, though, as we get ready to get down to 10 laps to go. The outside's starting to move. The 17 up there. That'll work pretty good as long as nobody jumps up there and tries to block you or go 4 wide. We have seen 4 wide not work, not one bit. So if we see 4 wide again, we know you can go ahead down and bank it. It's 100% right now. 4 wide does cause a crash here. As the guys up front going to move up, block that third line, is the 17 got a big run. And he's going to keep it going. Mahar trying to jump up there, but decides to come back down. So they blocked it down the straightaway, which basically just gave them a nice little toe down the back straightaway. So third line with Poman really getting going. Bedwell kind of cheating up there. Can't decide what he wants to do. The 17, though, gets a huge run. You see we're coming up on a lap car. Hopefully they'll get out of the way. It looks like maybe Tony, I don't know who that is. Can't really see. Tony Edgerton, I believe. So hopefully get down off the track as we are 3 wide. And the 17, Boss Man up front, trying to make that top line work. First time we've seen it really move with those three trucks up there. And here they come off the corner. Ooh, getting a little bit wiggly. Guys in the middle feeling a little bit nervous. Willie Evernham was the lap car, and he gets out of the way like a boss man and allows these guys to race. That top line really, really strong. However, they need maybe one more truck to jump up there and help that line out. I'm surprised to not see the 88 get up there, but he is trying to negotiate himself up to the front. Top line sort of running out of steam as it got up there, but they're trying to build it back up, see if they can get a huge run. The bottom, sort of the strongest line. You see how much closer all of them are. But these Poman guys doing all they can to make it work. Got to be patient. You see the 51 of Ray Rogers jump up there. Got to be patient if you're in that outside line. Just try to make sure that you keep the trucks as close as possible. Lean on those guys a little bit. You see almost a little bit too much. And make use of all the run down the straightaway. And they're doing exactly that. If you're patient enough, it will work. And so far, they are doing a great job as the bottom line's starting to fall apart just a little bit. You see some gaps. The 88, Charles Stevens, just doesn't know where to go. He's been up high, down low, in the middle now. Bedwell really is trying to close that gap up top. That is a dangerous move off the corner. Don't know if he's getting too tight or what's going on, but definitely a scary time to do. But Aaron Adcock with Chris McLean in tow. Oh, my goodness, the 95 almost self-clears. I don't know what Bedwell's doing, but he has made a couple moves that has, man, I almost swallowed my throat. As, man, we are still 3 wide for the lead. Everybody doing a fantastic job. That top line, though, looking really strong. I think that 17 has got what it takes to get out front. And I think he's clear, and he does. Oh, not quite clear down to the bottom. I don't know what in the world that was. He abandons his post up top. His teammates starting to fall back. You can see how big a deal that was. So now he's at the mercy of his competition. He's going to get a huge run down through the tri-oval, and he's going to jump down in front of Chris Carroll and take over the top spot with 9 laps to go, 8 laps to go now. But Bedwell's got to run after that push. he might be able to get up front and drop down in front of the 17. That's what you're going to see from here on out. You're going to see guys, you can't hold, you can't wait on your teammates, you can't stay up top side. If you're going to win this race, you either got to have the run on the last lap or you got to be on the bottom in that front row. That's the safest place to be where that 17 is right now. The 95, though, has got a lot of help, a lot of strong trucks. As Chris McLean and Tracy passes that Poman train up top, they're making some ground running nose to tail like they are. As they come off of turn 4, 17 is your leader. 97 right behind him. 95 leading that second row. Ratchet Miller says these boys doing work. Absolutely. Yeah, they're doing a great job right now. Can't go 4 wide, though. As soon as someone's go 4 wide, it's over. But that gummit, they can do 3 wide. We are 3 wide, 3 rows deep. Oh, getting a little wiggly, Joseph Mahar in that white 46 truck as Chris McLean gets really, really close to that wall. But they are making moves up there, Chris McLean. He's still a lap down. I believe he's just 1 lap down. He is in the lucky dog position, but leading that top row. Of course, that top row was Poman. The whole point was to get that 17 out front. Now it is to play a little bit of defense. Get down there, lean on the 95. Break up that middle line as you try to fight for your teammate up there. 95 get the big push down the straightaway. We'll be able to clear the 17 going into 1. He is clear, but decides not to take it as it was pretty close. So I think that was probably the smart move as the 17 gets a little bit of edge going into the corner, but the 95 will have a big run down the straightaway. What's he going to do? 97 pushing on the 17, though. He may not be able to get there. Side by side, neck and neck for the lead coming off of turn 4. Who's going to win this thing? Both these drivers need a win to get there and lock themselves into the playoffs, into the final 4. A win takes you all the way to the end. The 17 needs it more than anybody. As we're going to go to a wide shot so we can see the whole thing and maybe see the runs as they move back and forth. I really don't like this camera pack. Sometimes I can't really call the runs. Top line starting to fizzle out here as the 5 drops back. So we got a 2-lane race right here, but somebody going to jump up to the top line, make that work. Chris Bedwell says no, because whoever's going to jump up there is going to come from the middle line, and that is going to really hurt their performance as he has been so close to clearing, and there it goes, 3 wide. Ray Rogers now up to the top side, 43, kind of looking down to the inside. I don't know if that's going to work, but 5 laps to go as they come off of turn 4. Chris Bedwell has just a nose ahead, getting a big push from Joseph Mahar. That may be all he needs to jump down to that bottom line. Is he going to make the move? Not quite able to do it just yet. As Chuck Pegleg Phelps jumps up to the high side with Ray Rogers. That may be Bedwell's last little hurrah there as we got 4 laps to go, and the top side's broken up as the very, very high line is now full of trucks. Is 77 going to come in and try to fill that gap in the middle? And, God, these camera angles are just awful. But 17 got to be feeling pretty good right now. As if you're trying to get up there and win this race, you're running out of laps. And if you're the 95, you're just trying to time it just right. If you can get that push right when you need it. Oh, and Mahar's going to go. I thought he was going to go down to the, but I can't see it because of the stupid camera angle. Oh, Bedwell goes down to the inside and blocks that. Was able to take over the lead, jump down to the front of that bottom line. So what are you going to do if you're the 17? You see these runs coming. You've got to, we're 4 wide. That ain't going to work, is it? There it is. A big wreck happening right here as Charles Stevens, everybody involved. That should be a caution. Caution is out. I told you, 4 wide, it ain't going to happen. And you see Charles Stevens smoking. You see Chuck Pegleg Phelps, smoke coming out of the back of that truck. See Mahar Gets into the 75, but 4 wide. I mean, there's just no room for a mistake. You can't do anything wrong here. And 46, just a little bit of a tap, and that's all she wrote. Chuck trying to get up front, but got taken 4 wide. And Netco just won't let you do it. Poor Charles Stevens thought he had that thing cleared. Let's go on board with him and watch this. He tried to dodge his wreck, but not quite able to make it all the way through. Almost made it, though. Got some guys down on pit road. Chris McLean involved in that one. Tony Edgerton involved. Chuck Pegleg Felts. Let's see where everybody's at. Looks like Chuck Felts probably going to go a lap down. Willie Evernham. Looks like maybe might be the first truck a lap down. You see some guys out of the race. So Alan Smith going to be able to pick up a few spots if he stays on the track here. We'll see where everybody else comes back out. Chris Bedwell was able to hang on to the lead, but that caution came out. And as everything kind of gets settled here from that accident, looks like we're going to have the 17. 17 going to be on the outside. He's going to have a teammate, Garrett Kinder, pushing him. Chris Carroll will be down on the bottom behind Chris Bedwell. And then we've got all kinds of trucks with who knows how much damage back behind them. So it's going to be tough. Man, it's going to be tough here. Got to get a good restart. You don't want to get out too far ahead as the runs will be coming. I don't like these green-white checkers. It's exciting for us, but it's tough as a driver. You just don't know what to do. The 95, you kind of feel like you may be a sitting duck because there's a lot of guys who would love to get a win. If you're the 17, you feel pretty good. You got your teammate behind you. Seems like a pretty good pairing. We'll see how that all plays out. But a few more caution laps. Guys still on pit road getting trucks fixed. Well, we get the 1 to green. And this will be the first of, I believe, 2 green-white checkers. Yeah, 2 green-white checkers, so this is the first. So if we have a caution before we take the white flag, we will do it all over again. And I mean, the rule for tonight is don't go 4 wide. And I think if we don't go 4 wide, we don't wreck. I think because all the wrecks tonight, all 3 of them, I believe, have been because of 4 wide situations. So, um, seems like if you don't do that, you'll be okay. But you know what? I like chaos. So hey, I say go 4 wide. I think there's some guys back here who would like to get some wins. Um, Dana Shepard like to get a win. Anthony McPherson like to get him one. David Harden, he was going a lap down, driving by himself at some point. Now he's up here with a chance to win this thing. So Charles Stevens got himself a brand new truck after taking his fast repair, so he saved it at the right time. So he may have something to say about who wins this race. What's going to happen? I'm excited. I hope they go 5 wide. I'm going to be honest. Just line every truck up side by side all the way to the inside wall, to the outside wall, and let's see who comes out on top. But green, white, checkered here. Chris Bedwell with the lead. Aaron Adcock on the outside of the front row. He's waving his hand out the window, telling 13, hey, let's go. Pace car going down pit road. Pace car's like, I don't want nothing to do with any of this. He's leaving. If you're Bedwell, you don't want to get out to too big of a lead. You want to kind of slow roll it a little bit. As you get out there by yourself, you're going to be in trouble. He does get a pretty nice jump. Big gap there. Let's see what happens. I think 17 and 13 going to come roaring by here in just a second. Oh, 97 going to get to his bumper, though, so not quite. As the bottom line sort of tightens up pretty quick. Looks like the 95 may have heard me because he backed up almost immediately. So right now, got 4 on the bottom, 5-4 on the top, depending on where David Harden decides to go. The top side looking pretty strong, but 97 doing work there on the bottom to keep the 95 out front. 2 laps to go here at Talladega. Ooh, I got to get the energy up. It's getting late, but hey, we gotta call this one in as we're getting ready to take the Absolute Product Solutions Ice in the Competition final lap here. Side by side, 17 with a desperation move, has to get this win to make the playoffs. Got to win tonight or next week. Tonight would be a whole lot easier. You can breathe a little bit easy going into Homestead knowing that he doesn't have to try to win there too, because he cannot point himself in as they take the white flag. He is a good 2 car lengths back. He's going to need some help. Needs a big push from the 13, the 88, trying to make his way up there. Dana Shepard actually is blinking out, so I don't know what's going to happen there. The top side pretty strong. They're going to have one last push here as they go down to turn 3 and 4. The top side needs a big run. They got to get the 43 to pick up. What's his camera angle? As they come off of turn 4, big run. Got to go all the way to the tri-oval. Who's going to make a move? Who got the run to do it? 17 being pushed as hard as he possibly can, but that bottom line looks too strong. 13 going to pull out. Oh my goodness, what's going on here? Oh, and Chris Bedwell going to win the race there at the last moment with some last-second moves from a couple drivers, and I didn't even know what was going on. And Chris Bedwell going to lock himself into the playoffs. Aaron Adcock comes home in second place. So close to making that, getting that win and moving on to the next round. But Bedwell with a fantastic last lap as he's able to get done. Let's go back and watch that last lap one more time. The guys pulling out at the last second to make it happen. But Bedwell able to held on to it, takes the win. Got to be a sigh of relief to make it through Talladega, but to be able to get the win, that is a big deal. So, well, all right, let's talk to some people. Let's get the Five Kings corner chat up and let's talk to some people as got all kinds of stuff going on in these playoffs. Be interested to see how the points standings kind of shake up after that, as we've got some um, guys all over the place. Alan Smith able to recover to 11th place finish. That was good. But let's go ahead and talk to some folks while we have a chance. If we can find Chris Carroll, let's pull him up here. Hey, Chris, Eddie in the booth. You got me?
I got you, Eddie.
Well,
What's
fun.
going on?
Well, not too much fun race. Wild race there for the most part. But no skin off your back. No, not a problem for you. You're just out there having fun, enjoying the race, and trying to get a dub out there. Got real close. Come home third place, but still locked into the final four. Talk about your night.
I was pretty wild out there. I kind of hung out and downloaded the information and looked at what everybody was doing and where to run and how to run. And then I got up front there and had some fun and pushed some guys around for a while and went racing, but couldn't get the dub there with that caution coming out. I think 5 seconds later, Eddie, I think we were in a good spot there.
Yeah, it looked like that. The green white checkers are always hard to navigate on the super speedways. Hard to get runs and momentum in that short a time period, but close call there. But like I said, kind of doesn't really matter for you as you're looking forward to Phoenix. Homestead, you don't really have to worry. You can kind of take it easy there. You can spend all your time working on Phoenix. But how you feeling about Phoenix? Have you been running laps? Are you ready to go?
Eddie, I don't ever run any laps. I just come out here and run. I run a bunch of leagues and get my laps in, but yeah, we're playing with house money, baby. We're gonna go see what we can do at Phoenix. I don't know where we run next week, but I think it's at Homestead next week.
Man, I love it. He's
Uh,
so far ahead and so far into Phoenix, he doesn't even know where we're running next week. I love
I didn't look, but
it.
no, we're just out here having fun and see how those points work out and see who makes it to the final four and try to get a win. The only chance I had tonight was to push Bedwell out there and then try and go to the top or something, but that was all we had. That was a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of fun. Well, congratulations, Chris, as always, man. Who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout outs?
We got to thank Apex. They sponsor the series. I always forget them. I'm not an admin, and I don't have anything to do with running this. So all those guys that help run this and Apex, I always forget them. So I'm sorry, Apex. We got to thank USAFirearms.com. Brian Zimmerman and all the boys that run with me over there, they get me in all kinds of races, Eddie. I get to go race all the time, and it's pretty fun. I got to thank you for the broadcast, man. It's always an awesome interview. Always fun to come here and in here and talk to you, and starting to feel like I'm part of your family, Eddie Smith.
Let's go. Chris Carroll Smith wins third or gets third place, but he's already checked his box to the final four. Congratulations, Chris. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, sir. I got to thank my family and friends out there. I forgot my folks are watching, so almost forgot them. Thanks, Eddie. Appreciate it, man.
All right, man. Can't forget the family. That's the most important. That's for sure. Well, all right, Chris Carroll gonna come home in third place. Let's talk to Aaron Adcock, who comes home in second. Aaron, the stadium booth, you got me?
Yeah, I got you, Eddie.
Well, down there at the end, you had a green white checker with a shot on the outside. Had you the 13 pushing you, and man, just came up a little bit short. What extra did you need, man, to get across the line and punch your ticket into the playoffs in the final four? I mean,
I don't know,
more
maybe
trucks.
7 more trucks and in my line and about 5 more laps.
But
Oh, I'm mentally just whooped.
well, it was a tough race, man. It was, I mean, you did a good job staying out front, did what you had to do. When you got back in the pack, you jumped up on that top line, worked your way all the way back to the front. And, Talladega is one of those types of tracks you can do all the right things and still come up a little bit short. And I think you did a good race, ran a good race, and just so close, but just a little bit too short here at Talladega. But your playoff run's not over. While you did miss Bristol and you can't point your way and you still win, and we've already seen you come out and dominate at Kansas. How you feeling about Homestead? You feel like it's a pretty good track for you?
Yeah, I like Homestead. I've ran good there, had some good runs there in the past, but it just it's really a crapshoot when it comes down to pit strategy and running the right line and making sure you don't. It's so easy there to upset the truck a little bit, and you lose a little bit of momentum, it'll hurt you, and basically you just need to be out front and stay out front, and I guess it's kind of like Kansas in a way, but the clean air will be important next week, and pit stops will be important, and so it's I'll definitely be putting in some practice, that's for sure.
Yeah, and not that anybody else can't win, but just looking at the list, I mean, Chris Carroll, Chris Bedwell have now punched their ticket to the Final Four. So next week they don't, who I feel like are really really strong competitors, maybe picks to win, in the regular season at Homestead. But next week they don't need the win, so they might not be pushing as hard. Takes two names out of the hat that you might be battling against. So that may turn out in your favor, but still a good race tonight, man. You still got a shot. That's always good. You come down to the last two races, still have a shot. That's all that you can ask for sometimes, even after missing a race. But congratulations, Aaron. Good second place finish. As always, man, who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout outs?
Yeah, first and foremost, all my guys at Poman Motorsports, they did everything they could tonight to make sure that I was there at the end and had a shot to win it. So shout out to all the guys at Poman. Yeah, I doubt next week they're as happy to push me out to a win or give me as good of a shot as any to win, because it's going to be a pretty big points battle for those guys next week as well, trying to get those last two spots with Bedwell winning tonight. But yeah, just all those guys, appreciate everything they did tonight, having my back and helping me get to the front and playing it out, and just having me there at the end to have a shot to win. But Chuck Phelps for the Pole Award, Kinder Farm and Ranch, 1 Inch Designs, Burkhalter Recycling and Demolition, Kyle Roberts Handmade Leather, Trigger Time Indoor Shooting Range, and Absolute Product Solutions and Five Kings Motorsports. Just appreciate all our sponsors, and first and foremost, Apex Sim Racing for being the big sponsor here for this league. Appreciate everything they do, and um, yeah, just everybody that showed up tonight and everybody that continues to show up and everybody out there that watches us every Thursday night. We try to put on a show. I felt like we did tonight pretty good. Ran three wide there for a while, trying to get down to the bottom. So hopefully that was fun for a few laps. I know my nerves still haven't settled down. I might not be able to sleep tonight. My mind's hurting.
Well, late night here for Aaron Adcock, but the second place finish here in the race. Congratulations, Aaron, on second. Not what you wanted, but hey, any momentum is good momentum, and hey, you're going the right direction. See if you can kind of close it up at Homestead, pull off of Kansas, and make it to the Final Four.
That's right. I hope so. I appreciate it, Eddie, and thank you for broadcasting tonight. Can't wait to go back and rewatch it.
Absolutely. Well, that's Aaron Adcock comes home in second place. Chris Bedwell, our winner. Let's talk to him. We've been broadcasting for 2 hours. Let's go. Chris Bedwell. Zeddy in the booth. You got me.
I got a copy, Mr. Smith.
Well, we're in the Five Kings Corner chat presented by Five Kings Motorsports, which is a mouthful to say, but we're in the presence of the Talladega winner and the second driver to lock himself into the Final Four at Phoenix. How you feeling,
How
Chris?
about that? Pretty good. Yeah, I was really looking forward to this, and was hoping it would be a good night, and burned up a fast car about middle of the race, and kind of just hung out for a little bit at the end, and then some pit strategy worked, and we were able to take less fuel than the other guy, so we had a pretty decent lead. So then that kept us out front um, there at that last caution, and but we were running what, three wide for, it felt like forever, and then just had to pick your moves for the green white checkered. I was debating on what to do, if I should start on the top side or if I should start on the bottom to have the fastest guy in the league behind me, or I felt better running up high, but I wasn't sure. Like I knew Chris Carroll would push whoever was in front of him, so I didn't necessarily want Aaron to lock himself in. So gambled. It worked out. I don't think my rear end ever touched the ground in the last lap and a half, so it was like dirt tracking on the straightaway.
Well, it looked like a lot of fun. There was a lot of hold my breath moments. There was a lot of Code Browns out there tonight. but able to stay out of trouble and only use the one faster pair. And I mean, you put yourself in position. That's all you can do at Talladega. Talk to Aaron about it. I mean, I think he raced a really good race too. And both of you did what you had to do to get out there and get that win and try to lock yourself into to the next round. And you just came out on top. You were about half a tenth better than Aaron tonight, and that gives you the dub. And you move on to Phoenix. Give you a little bit of relief, not having to worry too much about next week. I don't think you were too worried anyway. I feel like you'd be a favorite at Homestead, and you still may be, but it's got to feel good knowing that, hey, all you got to worry about is Phoenix.
Yeah, definitely. And Homestead's a fun track, so I can just go in looking to have fun and not having any pressure, so that'll help. And then Phoenix is I really like racing at Phoenix. Um, it's another driver's track, so we'll see what happens. But looking forward to next week and then the finals in a couple weeks.
All right. Well, Chris, as always, man, who you got to thank? Any sponsor shout outs?
Big thanks to teammates. Checked out racing. We were controlling the top line there early. Dana and Tony. Feel bad for Tony. He had a good shot of a good finish tonight. Just some bad luck on for him, and missed our buddy George Williams. But hopefully he's watching, and we'll keep rolling on for next week, and then hope to bring a championship for at Phoenix, and all the league sponsors: Apex Sim Racing, Mr. Pegleg for the pole award, Kinder Farm and Ranch, all those sponsors. Robert's Handmade Leather for the hard charger, Trigger Time Indoor Shooting Range for Hard Luck Award, Absolute Product Solutions for the white flag. That was an exciting white flag, and of course, Fine Kings Motorsports for sponsoring this interview.
There you have it. Nailed it. Congratulations, Chris.
Right on.
Looking forward to the next couple weeks. See if you can get a championship here in Apex.
Thank you, sir. You have a good night.
Well, there you have it. That's all she wrote. And hey, that was a fun race. Talladega always fun. Like I said, big wrecks, but big checks as well. So congratulations again to Chris Bedwell. Let's bring up the results. And let's see where everybody else finished. Anthony McPherson comes home in fourth place. Garrett Kinder with the fifth place. Joseph Mahar sixth. Dana Shepard seventh. Charles Stevens Jr. 8th. David Harden 9th. Willie Evernham 10th. Alan Smith recovers. 3 laps down, though. 11th. 12th. Tracy Passons. Ray Rogers 13th. Chuck Peg Leg Phelps 14th. Chris McLean 15th. Tony Edgerton 16th. Matt Rogers 17th. Brandon Wallace in 18th. 43 laps down. So pretty good race, guys. I want to thank all our sponsors, Apex, and everybody else who puts this show on. It's been one of the better seasons that I've been a part of in broadcast. A lot of drama, a lot of competition, and man, it just seems to always deliver tonight same way. I think we take away, tonight, not much you can take away going into the next couple weeks, but 4 wide was obviously the biggest problem. Guys just making moves, doing whatever they can to get up front, get some points. Playoff drivers trying to lock themselves in. Tonight was a good time to do it. So you got some people on deck. We'll see how the points kind of lay out after this race once they're posted. But Aaron Adcock, we talked to him already. Got to have a win or he is out. He cannot point himself in after missing Bristol. So not to keep harping on that. I'm sure he would like for me to shut the heck up about it, but that's my job, I think, is to let everybody know what's going on. But everybody else probably pretty close to being good in points. Ray Rogers actually the lowest playoff driver in the field tonight in 15th, so he's gonna have to some work to do next week. But honestly, I feel like he's probably a favorite to win. So looking forward to the next couple weeks. Trigger Time Hard Luck Award. The Jammed Up Award probably going to go. I mean, there's a lot of people that I could pick. Yeah, I don't know. Golly, the back half of the field is going to be the Trigger Time Hard Jammed Up Award winner. So congratulations to the back half of the field. Just a tough night for some folks. Probably some irritated folks out there, but hey, that's Talladega. But anyway, thanks for everybody watching. Sure is a lot of fun broadcasting. Hate that there's only 2 more races left, but hey, we we'll be back next time. So we'll come back next week. We'll see how it all plays out, who locks into the Final Four, and then the week after that, we're going to crown champion. So thank y'all for watching. Everybody in chat, everybody watching and watching later. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week.